Shortly after 4 o'clock today, we started getting calls that there had been shots fired here at the commercial kitchen behind me. When we arrived, we found that one person had been shot multiple times. Seattle Fire Department medics scooped that person up, took him up to Harborview, but sadly they died once they had gotten to Harborview. At this point, we have a very basic description of a suspect of a black male in his mid-20s. Was wearing all black at the time, had a surgical mask on, so we don't have much of a description in that way. But now our homicide detectives are on scene with our CSI unit, and they're collecting evidence, going over some surveillance video from the area as well as evidence that was left at the scene.
Can you talk to us, was the suspect related anyway to the victim? We're hearing possibility that he was a worker.
It is unclear at this time. It doesn't appear to be like a workplace violence type of thing. The business door was open and the suspect did walk through that door from what I believe happened at this point. But at this point, it's still, again, unclear as to who the suspect is, so we can't say whether or not they have any employment history.
Quick clarification. Suspect left on foot or was in a vehicle?
Yeah, so we've had descriptions both ways, which kind of happens in these circumstances. Thankfully, a lot of people were out here and paying attention to what was going on. But the suspect did leave the scene on foot. Whether or not they got into a car afterwards is still kind of up in the air. We've got a description of a couple different cars, but we're also reviewing video from the area to help us kind of nail down exactly how that person did leave the area.
Which business did it happen and where inside?
So it's a couple different businesses that share the same space, so I'm unsure which business exactly it was there.
But the shooting happened inside?
Inside the business.
And you said they gained access because one of the doors was open, so not one of the patron walk-up, like was it over here? I know there are a few points of entry.
There are multiple points of entry to this building, but the back kitchen door area is where they did enter.
The victim, was the employee of the business?
The victim is an employee of the business, but again, I don't know which business it was. Again, since there is a shared space, it's kind of tough to tell right now.
And I know you kind of answered this question, but was this random, targeted?
That is something that we still kind of have to figure out. As we speak with our witnesses, we'll be able to work towards getting that figured out. Sorry, I'll start that over. Should have turned that off. So that's something that we're trying to figure out, whether or not this person worked there, and as we continue to speak with our witnesses, we'll be able to figure out exactly how that goes.
And because there are so many number of people who share that commercial space, can you give us an idea of how many people were inside the building when this took place, roughly?
Again, I'm not sure of that detail. I know there were multiple people in the same room where the shooting took place, on top of the victim also. So we're lucky that this wasn't worse, but again, our hearts do go out to the family of the person who was killed today.
Any threat to the public with the suspect on that?
At this point, that suspect should be considered armed. We have not recovered a firearm at the scene. That being said, again, it's tough to tell whether or not this was a targeted attack, so I would say that if you have any information as to the identity of the suspect, give us a call. Tip line is 233-5000. That's 206-233-5000. Speak with a detective.